Are you ready for this comment I received? Ben, I can thank my wife for showing me the truth. As a 2-time Trump voter, the punch wore off. Nothing worse than knowing you've been duped. Now I'm pissed. I'm Ben Meiselas from the Midas Touch Network. Former Republicans whose political party left them are sharing with us here at the Midas Touch Network their stories, how they have fled the MAGA Republican Party as MAGA has taken over, as President Joe Biden said, this ain't your parents' or grandparents' Republican Party anymore. This is MAGA Republican extremism built on the cult of Donald Trump. And by the way, if any of these stories you share, if it's you directly, a family member, coworker, neighbor, just somebody you know, put in the comments below about how you or they left the MAGA Republican Party and why. I think it is important that we share these stories and talk about the real silent majority here in the United States of America, pro-democracy loving people who just care about the facts, the evidence, who don't want this Donald Trump cult, who want stability. We don't want to wake up every morning wondering, is he going to write a tweet that's going to destroy our country? Is he going to praise Kim Jong-un? Is he going to praise Vladimir Putin? Is he just going to start a trade war because he's angry? Is he going to throw a hissy fit and make a mockery of our country? Is he going to do a stand back, stand by? Is he going to do another insurrection against our country, folks? We're just law and order, the real type of law and order, compassionate. We care about equality. We care about our fellow Americans. We care about dignity, about a woman's right to control her reproductive rights. We don't want MAGA Republicans like Trump and Jim Jordan and others taking away our rights and our freedoms. Share your stories below. Here's another post that I got. My father was initially a Trump supporter and has been a lifelong Republican. After January 6th, his eyes were opened and he saw Trump for what he really was, not what he says he is. My father no longer supports Trump. I think he still views himself as a conservative, but he will not vote MAGA again. Next comment. I'm registered, non-affiliated, and voted split ticket. After 2016 and the former guy, I will never vote Republican again. A Navy veteran shares this story with us at Midas Touch. I'm a 10-year Navy veteran and was a Republican for over 30 years. I knew Trump would be bad for this country, but it is worse than I ever could have imagined. I served on my local Republican town committee. I ran for local office as a Republican. I've manned phone banks to get our local Republicans out to vote. I've served on municipal committees and commissions as a Republican. I've worked on local and national Republican campaigns from local. And yet, I'm called a rhino by keyboard warriors who don't even know what a town committee is. My wife and I left a Republican Party we no longer recognize, the cult trying to kill democracy, and we need to vote them all out of office. I will never vote for a Republican again. Thanks for sharing that story. Here's the next comment I received. My husband and I always joked because he was a Democrat and I a Republican. So I said I had to go and vote to nullify his vote. We made fun of each other's party's presidential mistakes, etc. But when Trump came on the scene, I switched parties. I had never donated money to any political candidates before, but now I regularly donate to the Democrats, hoping they can beat out these MAGA loyalists and save our country. Trump has continually tried to divide our country. I don't see how these people can claim to be Christians and be so prejudiced and divide our country. Next comment. I didn't pay attention to politics until I joined a cult and they all voted Republican. When I left the cult, I spent time learning critical thinking skills and in the process realized that their politics didn't make any more sense than their doctrine did. Now it makes me nauseous how much Republicans exploit the religious for money and votes. Next comment. My family has been Republican forever, and when I registered to vote in 1978, it was as a Republican. As time went by, I voted by merit, not party. After 2017, I was so disappointed in the Republican leadership that I registered as a Democrat. And honestly, I haven't voted for a Republican since. If my mother ever finds out, she will give me hell. So I simply don't talk politics around her or anyone who might tell her what I say. Next comment. Former Republican, you hit the nail on the head, Ben. Tired of it. Very disillusioned, and the party is destroyed. Been here 72 years. Next comment. Right now, the Republican Party needs to reset their party like we reset our phones. Vote out all the crazies in the Republican Party so we can work across the aisle with one another, work with people who believe in democracy, believe in our Constitution, and believe in civility, believe in supporting our military. Thank you, Midas Touch Network, for informing us and telling us the truth. Next comment. I also was a registered Republican, but will never vote Republican again. Trump really destroyed the GOP. Thank you, everybody, for sharing your comments. And, as I said, the paradigm used by the media is off. And I think they will reflect on it later, maybe after 2024. But they look at things through this prism, this dichotomy. On the one hand, there are Democrats, progressives, liberals. On the other hand, you have Republicans, conservative. I think that's so flawed right now. And I think that after the 2024 election, or maybe even later, but it should be now, we will all reflect that these paradigms have completely changed. It doesn't exist anymore. Republicans are not conservative. Republicans are MAGA. There is nothing conservative about supporting the January 6th insurrection. There is nothing conservative about trying to overthrow our democracy. There is nothing conservative about not supporting free and fair elections. There is nothing conservative about attacking our top medical professionals like Dr. Fauci. There's nothing conservative about supporting Vladimir Putin. There's nothing conservative about trying to destroy NATO. There's nothing conservative about mocking our military, calling those who died fighting for our countries suckers and losers the way Donald Trump did. There is nothing conservative about being part of a cult where Donald Trump gives these weird speeches and starts saying things like, did you realize that the word US and us are very similar? Us. US. Oh, and by the way, who here wants to be electrocuted? Because I'll tell you, I'd rather be electrocuted than eaten by a shark. Because I'm so handsome, everybody. I'm so handsome. And by the way, deranged prosecutor, special counsel Jack Smith, and the racist district attorney, they're all coming after me, everybody. I mean, that's deranged. What are you talking about? And people go to events like that. Like I said, there's nothing conservative about that, right? To me, there is a pro-democracy community made up of Democrats, made up of people not affiliated with political parties, made up of people who have left the Republican Party, independents, whether you're liberal, progressive, conservative, this pro-democracy silent majority, or just people who just want normalcy. We just want intelligence. We just want compassion. We don't want the chaos of this MAGA. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and Matt Gaetz and Jim Jordan and Donald Trump, all the way up to their new Speaker of the House, MAGA Mike. The new Speaker of the House says we don't live in a democracy, we live in a biblical republic. The new MAGA Republican Speaker of the House has called for banning same-sex marriage, saying that if you change the definition of marriage from between a man and a woman, you open the floodgates for sexual anarchy. The new MAGA Republican Speaker of the House blamed mass shootings on no-fault divorce laws, feminism, and Roe v. Wade. That's who they have leading the party in the House. And then you've got Donald Trump as their leader. It's shocking, shocking, shocking. Share your stories in the comments below, please. Let me know if you've left the Republican Party, if you know someone who's left the Republican Party because the Republican Party has left you or has left them. And I just want to be very clear, the pro-democracy community